We have item number 3. We really don't have a lot, I suppose, at this point to discuss, but it says retail distribution. There's not a whole lot of additional information to that, but
No, but that could mean anything.
it could.
That's really not a good subject line.
I don't.
Well, retail distribution of what?
Yeah.
What were you talking about? What were you thinking about?
I love Dottie, he just fires away.
Well, you're right. Retail distribution of marshmallows? What?
Sweatshirts.
Sweatshirts?
Fire pits.
Fire pits?
Oh, jeez. That ain't gonna go.
Sweatshirts.
Who asked, let me rephrase this. Who asked it to be put on the agenda?
Trustee Ippolito.
So then what was Trustee Ippolito's intent?
Our intent was to talk about what this whole board talked about previous about cannabis.
Oh, okay.
And
So retail
so we had
distribution
somebody,
Sorry.
of cannabis.
we had someone come to our last meeting, explain what they're looking to do, ask this board to think about it, and we said we would put it on the next agenda to discuss. So that's why it's here.
Gotcha. Well, I was like you, when I just saw retail distribution, I'm scratching my head.
Sorry. I don't know if I could put, I don't know. Sorry.
I think the only person that wasn't here last time was Carl.
But I got the information online. He sent it to me.
So at some point, yeah, we're gonna have to really make a decision, potentially have a public hearing.
I had a sit down with them yesterday. Mr. Miko and his brother and his son and one other explained to me their business proposal. And the bottom line being, after they proposed to me what their business is gonna do, the bottom line was the village is gonna get $119,000 per year out of their estimated $300,000 take-in each year. And my response to that was that's yeah, that's all well and good, but you're proposing that you receive $300,000. You take in $300,000. What if you only take in $100,000? How much is that for the village? And what's the percentage that you're giving the village? Where does that come from? The answer was 2, 6, 8%, 10, 13. So it depends on what their gross is, and that depends on how much we get. But I'm thinking that there are an awful lot of pluses and minuses to this. And I don't want to go into detail of the negatives right now. And my opinion is they're putting the pressure on for us to hurry it up. Because Sam's license that he obtained from the state of New York expires in 90 days. He wants to set up a shop in his location there down on North Avenue and have it running in 90 days. And I told him that I don't think that's possible, and that there would be a public hearing or that we need to get input from the public as far as what they feel, what we should be doing. I don't think we should vote on it right here and make a decision and then have the public, the citizens, come to us and say, why did you do that, or why didn't you do that? We need to hear from the public, and
Yeah, which is
Their
the
story-
typical process.
their story is, they're gonna get their supply from a New York State and federal operated distribution center. and they take that supply in the packets or whatever that has a stamp on it, put it in their jars, and that's how they sell it.
Yeah, it could be tracked, so that what they presented to you is what they presented to this board.
I know, I'm just going back through that, and they underlined the fact that we need to have 3 board members sign. They stated to me that Al, Jerry, and Judy thought it was a good idea. And at the end of the meeting, I said, I can't give you an answer right now, yes or no. I've got to talk to my board members and try to understand how they feel. And then we have to go to the public and find out how they feel. And it's something that we can't make a quick decision on, until we really explore. There's been mentions of heavier traffic, a seedy atmosphere, on-premise use, adults buying for children, or adults buying for teenagers, and all of those are negatives. But you can go right across the street and buy a 12-pack of beer and give it to the kids too. It's the same thing. And so the initial, now I'm going towards the positive. So the initial impact of that store being there might cause an uproar. But eventually, we'll find out if
There
there's
would
not.
be no on-site use, that's not permitted under their license.
You can-
I don't think.
It's similar to
Then
a
you
gas
can.
station or a smokehouse, you don't run into the stogie store, buy a stogie and sit in the parking lot.
No,
Yeah, it's not, no.
I'm not a user, so I don't know, but
Well, that's a state law, it's now legal in New York State to smoke cannabis wherever it's legal to smoke cigarettes.
right.
And there's nothing this board can do about that.
Correct.
Right,
Except for in the parks, right?
right.
Well, we could say, I mean,
Right.
it's up to this board to make the decision whether they open a store or not.
Right, if they open a store, but remember, when we talk about all the negative impacts for health and stuff, we didn't make that decision, we
No.
didn't vote on that decision, that has nothing to do with this board. If you're a marijuana user, you're using marijuana, whether it's in the village of Webster, or you drive to the city, or you go to Arundecoy, it doesn't matter. That's not changing it. And I've never, to this date, have tried it, used it, or never plan on using it, so that piece to me really doesn't make a difference.
So basically, to you,
Tax
it's
revenue.
monetary only.
Yeah, I think,
I think what Jerry's saying, the New York State legislature and government have already decided that any perceived negative, there aren't sufficient negative perceived health benefits to marijuana use to not legalize it.
That's wrong. They did not say that. They
Well-
put money, there is money in that
Is this-
bill
is
to
this open to
go
the
towards
public?
mental
No.
health coverage.
It's not open.
Well, if they thought it was so bad for the public, why was it legalized?
It was legalized because of financial reasons. They thought they were gonna get money out of
I
it.
agree with
Well,
that.
maybe, but.
I'm a guy who got up and gave an impassioned speech at the beginning of this discussion, and I gave you all the medical reasons why we shouldn't get involved in this.
We did. So,
right, but we're not the decision makers, we're on the medic, that's what you guys gotta understand, we're not the health people, or the governor, or anybody in the state that said, smoke it. People are smoking it, just like they're drinking the beer down the street and all those other things, and smoking cigarettes, and doing drugs. We have nothing to do with that piece of that.
but to me, Don, when you say that it's legal in the state, this governor and everybody else made it legal, they've made alcohol legal too, and there are dry villages, there are dry communities in New York State that have said, we don't want alcohol,
But this is different. You cannot pass a law in the village of Webster that bans
Marijuana.
marijuana use.
Can't.
No.
That's specific in the state legislation.
Correct. Once you opt in, that's what is different about this. Once you opt in, you cannot opt out. Right now, we have said no, because that was initially.
You opted out of the retail sales.
Correct. Or,
Not the private use of.
correct. Oh, absolutely.
Well, that's different than a
You're
dry,
absolutely
that's different than the town of, or the village of Williamson, which
Right.
was dry for years. That was in the, when they repealed prohibition or whatever, the federal law must have said that, you know, localities can, if they want to, ban the consumption.
No, Williamson didn't ban the consumption, they only banned the sale.
I don't think so.
So, well, so when you say it's a dry town, it's not really.
True.
No,
They say
use
no
it
sale.
down and buy
So it'd be
it
the
somewhere
same
else.
thing.
Same
Sure,
thing.
you can go out and get it and bring it in. You can do that here. It's legal. You go out and get it and walk down the street like a cigarette and smoke a joint. Absolutely. Drive a car. Although, could be impaired, but I don't know, they haven't come to that point yet. I think the bothers, what gets me is that once you say, once you agree, you, like, the laws that we have, we can change them, we can modify them, etc. You can't do that with this. Once you say, yes, you are forever, yes. I think that's what gets me. Anyways,
So are we in any type of fiscal trouble that we would need to have $120,000 a year extra?
not at the moment.
Yeah, you guys did vote for the sewer, that's climbing every time I look at the budget. So, yeah, you could probably use that to support that decision that we made.
Can I make one point here?
No, we're not opening it up for a discussion at the moment.
Okay.
Okay, so we did have a discussion.
Good.
Is there anything else at the moment that you would like to bring up regarding that? I provided you with some information. It's counterpoint to what was presented to you other at the
I want to hear what Al
Meeting?
says. What does Al say?
Al says, I think we can use the money, again, to offset some of the other expenses we have. It's very highly regulated by the state. I know at first when we were talking about it, it's like, you know, you don't want that clientele hanging out there, but like Don said, you can't hang out there and smoke joints and all that. Did they say there is? They're gonna do a lot of like mail delivery or talking about it, like
I love that.
delivering it or?
I didn't hear that part.
Okay. But, like I said, it's very, you know, I felt comfortable when they said it's very highly regulated. I mean, they'll shut, you know, they're not doing the right thing, they'll shut them down immediately. And then if we can bring in additional revenue to reduce our taxes to our constituents, I think that's a good idea.
That was the whole initial idea about legalizing marijuana, was the monetary impact.
Just like they did with gambling.
So you would have greater opportunity for an older brother or for somebody who you knew, 21, to go in, get it, and provide it to you as an 18-year-old or a 13-year-old.
They could get it on the street.
I know they can do that now,
You can
but
do it
we're
now.
talking about
Right,
later.
Nick, so
You go
Penfield,
outside and you go outside the
Penfield,
village,
Ontario, you can go and do it,
that's fine.
just
So
like
you say it's
cigarettes.
fine.
There's
Therefore,
there's
it's being done,
unlicensed
so it's okay,
cannabis
we'll do
shops
it here
in the town of
because
Webster.
we want the money.
There's one right here on Main Street.
You go-
I
And
see,
we don't
I
have
see a lot of
to-
negatives. can't afford, I can, and, you know, maybe some other time and executive session we can.
And I'm not, the negatives you were bringing up, I don't disagree with all of them, but you're also talking about
But there are
things
more.
that were
There's
not
more that I-
our control.
I
So we
really
say,
want
no,
to-
don't put it here, put it in Penfield, Fairport, East Rochester, all those other towns that did it, Ontario. They reap the benefits of the money, and our people that we're saying we wanna protect because of their health issues it causes, are going there, getting it, and coming home and smoking it in Webster. So that's what I struggle understanding. You know, if this was a vote about allowing it to be legal or not, we could have a different conversation. But it's legal, we can't stop that.
I think the positives outweigh the negatives. That was my conclusion. After hearing,
You're selling your soul to the devil for a few tax dollars. Think about that.
Yeah, but the bottom line is, they're smoking it whether we have a store or not, that's,
You're just an enabler.
So I-
You're becoming an enabler.
yeah, I don't know if I agree with that.
Anyways.
Roll me up and smoke me one day. Willie Nelson.
All right, so we had a discussion. I don't think we were going to come to any conclusion necessarily.
I wish I could do a survey to see if we didn't put it in here and took a poll of the people that smoke marijuana in the town, in the village, with a shop and without a shop. I would love to see what it is, but I can guarantee you the number would not have changed. So, you're a user, you're a user. You're gonna go where you can get it. And the other concern I have, this has been brought up by a lot of people, is the stuff that the kids are getting off the streets and stuff, not have other stuff in it. So,
That was the point they made.
there is a lot of danger just in that, because,
They are laced with some bad stuff.
yeah, laced with some bad stuff.
um,
And that came from, I'm not gonna mention the name, but a really good police officer friend of mine that talked about that, so.
I don't know.
Good
To
to
be
know.
honest, if you're worried about stuff off the street, certainly can get seeds and grow them yourself and have 6 very mature plants that are large, and
Right.
now you know.
Right, so you said that earlier too, so grow it at home, grow 6 plants at home. So it's not really the health benefits that you're worried about, because you're just publicly stating, do it at home.
If that's what you want to do.
Right, so that's what this is all about, controlling what other people want to do. You can't control what they want to do. You know what I mean? But you're allowed, so if we just, put it on our website, every village home, you're allowed to do 6 plants. And 90% of the village does it. Guess what? They're all high, they're all driving on our streets, and we didn't get
And
tax
it's gonna
revenue.
be the smog in the air.
Yeah, and then we're not gonna get the tax revenue, but they're gonna be high.
And we're gonna suffer from all this smoke inhalation. That's why I'm
The police is busy for sure.
All right, I think we beat it up
Yes.
tonight.
I agree.
You can beat it, or just beat it.
What are you, Michael Jackson?
Brought up that,
Michael Jackson. Beat it. Michael Jackson.
I think we have to get you tested.
R.I.P.
All right, I'd like to close the discussion portion of that.